The Hawks are looking into high treason dockets against Solidarity and AfriForum. Their high-level contacts with Trump's government in Washington are the reason for this. It would be preferable to look into President Ramaphosa's high treason because of his many acts that have hurt South Africa and its citizens and will continue to do so. Please kindly subscribe to our channel. Turn on the notification bell so as to get all updates. I'll talk about this later, but for now, I'll just say that Ramaphosa is making it seem likely that Trump will terminate the African Growth and Opportunities Act, AGOA, for South Africa, which has a lot to offer the country's economy, while AfriForum is urging Trump's administration to keep it going. Which party? The ones seeking to harm or the ones seeking to strengthen the South African economy is guilty of treason. The majority of political commentators, the EFF, MK, and the mainstream media in South Africa all agree that AfriForum is to blame for everything. They also suggest that it is treasonous, racist, and unpatriotic, that it wants to restore apartheid, that it doesn't want to address the injustices of the part, that wants special privileges for Afrikaners, and that it disseminates false information about South Africa overseas, and so on. Nonsense. Ramaphosa's enactment of very controversial laws, like the Expropriation Act, and the Basic Education Laws Amendment, BELA, Act, seems to have been the catalyst for this whole controversy. The Afrikaans language is being attacked by BELA. As long as it is in the public interest, which might mean anything, the EA permits the state to expropriate any property with nil compensation. Marxists believe that any expropriation without compensation is in the public interest, as private property should not exist. In the US, these terrible rules were observed and utterly misunderstood. Both Trump, who seldom bothers to check his facts, and Elon Musk, who grew up in South Africa and ought to know better, saw the EA as a targeted assault on white Afrikaners. There was nothing like it. In keeping with the ANC's National Democratic Revolution, NDR, the EFF, and the SA Communist Party, it was an assault on all private property. It would be poor blacks, not affluent whites, who would be most affected. Similarly, impoverished black people have been the ones most negatively impacted by employment equity, transformation, and all the other miserable laws that were put in place to benefit a tiny, politically connected elite. Redressing historical injustices? Don't laugh at me. They're being sustained. Afrikaners have many reasons to feel endangered, even if the EA is not a direct assault on them. A South African court decided that the song Kill the Boer, Kill the Farmer was not hate speech. There are no other groups or individuals in South Africa that I can think of that such a violent appeal would not be considered hate speech. Chanting for the death of Afrikaners is legal, but not for everyone else. Black people were subjected to worse oppression by the British than by Afrikaners in many respects. Consider chanting, Kill the Brits. The shout, Kill the Boer, Kill the Farmer, Shoot to Kill, was yelled by juliusmalema in front of a large, enthusiastic audience in 2023. It garnered international attention. Ramaphosa said nothing critical, which raises the question of whether he agreed with the spirit of the song, particularly after seeing that the crowd did. Although the exact causes of farm killings in South Africa are unknown, stealing is obviously not the primary factor. Farmers, their spouses, and their kids, including newborns, are routinely subjected to the most horrifying forms of torture, rape, and murder. Farmers have a greater murder rate than the general population, which makes them a particularly susceptible demographic. Naturally, these killings include black farmers and their families. There are no killings of farmers or white farmers in South Africa, President Ramaphosa told Bloomberg in September 2018, as the murders of South African farmers were gaining widespread notice in the United States. This was a nasty, purposeful falsehood. More than 1,700 farm killings have been reported to SA police at that time. Why did he tell such a lie? Because he felt nothing at all when women and children were brutally murdered? Or was he really happy that the farmers were being targeted, like the throng applauding Malema? President Mugabe of Zimbabwe used his troops and thugs to take over private farms in 2000, killing around 20 farmers and forcing 780,000 black agricultural workers and their families to leave their homes and means of subsistence, leaving them in poverty and sometimes hunger. This was fantastic, according to the ANC. It was entirely in favor of Mugabe's seizures. During his visit to SA, he received standing ovations. How could a farmer in Afrikaans not be afraid that the ANC would try to do the same thing here?